Hi, I'm Scott, editor at boatblurb.com, and today we are on beautiful Penn Lake in Muskoka. The weather is perfect today, and our objective today is to take out two inflatables to kind of show you the pros and cons of each type. One is a 10.8, one is a 14.8, one has 25 horse, and one has 70 horse. Our point today is to take each one out, see what their balance is like, see what the performance is like, weigh the pros and cons to give you a better idea of what you can expect when you're looking at an inflatable tender. So without any further ado, let's go for a rip. So we're out right now on the Gala 10.8 with a 25 Yamaha outboard on the back. It's a pretty peppy boat. We had some initial reservations upon leaving that, is it going to be stable? Is it going to be a comfortable ride? Is it going to be twitchy? And what we found, even with two of us aboard, we've got beautiful calm water, but even then, after giving it a little bit of a workaround, it's a great little boat. Stable, comfortable, smooth acceleration, and quite frankly, we're enjoying ourselves. So when you're looking at a tender like this, obviously one of the biggest considerations is storage capacity, size, volume. How much can I get in the boat? How much can I, use to transport from shore to a larger vessel, things like that. With something like a 10.8, obviously you're going to be concerned about how much space you're going to have to work with. The beauty of a boat like this is there's a lot more than you think. It's rated for up to 660 pounds, which is a decent amount at a 10.8 size. As well, in terms of comfort, size, usability for the driver, I'm not small. I'm 6'2", I'm about 250 on a good day. Obviously, I'm on the upper end of the spectrum. There's a lot of room for me here. I'm comfortable. If I really needed to, I would have room for something else or someone else of a smaller size next to me. So I've got lots of room to work with here. As well, even while I'm sitting at the helm station, I can pretty much access anything in the boat. I like that this bar is here if I need help standing up. If I need to move around to the side of the boat, I've got something to grab onto. As well, this boat is very well outfitted with grab rails all around the side from bow to stern. So no matter where I go on the boat, I always feel like I can get 1 or even 2 points of contact with my hands to make me feel more comfortable as I move. In terms of stability, you'd be surprised. Like I said, I'm not small. I can rock this boat pretty hard, and I am not worried about it going over. Quite frankly, I couldn't do it. We've taken it on some pretty high speed turns just to see how it will respond. There's a lot of stability there. So if you're looking at something of this size, it's a decent platform. So storage. Obviously, when you're looking at a smaller size tender like this with a 10.8 waterline, you're probably concerned how much space you're gonna have. You'll be very surprised and delighted to find out that there's a lot more here than you think. Underneath me, the entire width of the seat is a full storage compartment. There's also a full compartment directly in front of me and another compartment in the bow. So for example, let's say you were headed ashore to pick up some guests for the weekend. They've got overnight bags. You're going on a grocery run. You've got to wonder to yourself, especially if there should say be maybe 2 or even 3 people in this boat, where am I going to put all that stuff? Thankfully, you can get a large portion of it just within these storage compartments to free up the top space for your guests. We've taken the Gala 330L through its paces, and I have to say, I'm pretty impressed. This is a fun little boat. A lot more storage than you'd think. It's peppier than you'd think. It's more stable than you'd think. If you're looking for a tender or a quick vessel for running to and from shore, gathering up supplies, it's a great little platform. So we happen to be in beautiful Muskoka. If you were, say, a cottager up here, or if you were a cruiser or overnighter on Georgian Bay or a larger body of water, Great Lakes, even coastal waters, this is a great option to consider. So we're gonna make the most of the weather today. We're gonna go for a little rip. I've decided to make myself comfortable up in the bow. We've put this handy little removable cushion up here so I'm comfortable. So we're about to go enjoy the rest of the day, and be sure to check out the Gala 330L. So now we're aboard the AQS 450. We've just gone from a 10.8 length to a 14.8 length. Obviously, we've also got a little extra width with that as well. We've also made a big jump in power. We're now rocking a 70 horse, 4-stroke Yamaha outboard. So more power, more boat, we've got more weight. What we're gonna see now is how this compares versus the Gala 330L in terms of acceleration, stability, performance, and then we're gonna do a walkthrough on the boat and see what we have in terms of features. So let's go for a ride. We've taken this out for a decent ride. There's a fair number of things that we can already be definitive about when it comes to comparing the two. Obviously, going from a 10.8 waterline to a 14.8, we're getting a little bit more boat. What comes with that, a little bit more speed, a little bit more stability, a little bit faster on the whole shot, a little bit faster up the plane. Also a smoother ride. You could really feel right away, this thing just puts you at ease. Also having a little bit more power on the back, 70 versus 25 horsepower, noticeable difference. We also have a heavier boat. There's simply more of it with a larger model. What that brings, again, more stability, more seaworthiness. We're not feeling the impact of the wind and the waves so much. A general overall nicer, smoother ride. The kind of thing that you could really spend a day out here by yourself or with friends and family, just going for a nice ride. So, having said that, let's get into some of the specifics about what's on this boat. Fair bit more comfortable on a larger boat. I'm not particularly small, but this is a nice place to be. I would have no issue spending the afternoon just sitting up here while someone else drives me around the lake. As well, not only do I have more foot space for myself, but there's also more foot space for somebody else in light of the fact that we have another seat in front of the helm station. As well, up here, we've got nice matte flooring. I've got lots of grip no matter where I go on the boat. And as well, we've got handholds everywhere. If you are uneasy, if you ever feel unsettled, or God forbid you do get some waves, you can get a lot of comfort and a lot of security just by knowing that there's something around you to grab onto. In the back, plenty of storage as well. We've got another compartment underneath the captain's seat and more around the sides. So there's lots to work with here. No matter what you're doing, whether you've got a lot of guests or just a couple guests, but a fair amount of gear, you've got space to work with. So one of the things you'll notice as soon as you give this boat a pretty good once-over is the quality of the build. There's a lot of small details here that when you really look, really start to stand out. First and foremost, the quality of the welds in all of this is impeccable. All down the sidewalls, it looks really clean, really tight. All the stitching on the seats is impeccable. All of our welds are perfect. There's a lot of good lines here, and I can't stress enough how well the ergonomics of this start to stand out the more you start to use it. Everywhere you reach, you've got a grab handle. You've got it down both sides of the boat. An underrated feature that not many people would notice and not many boats have is something like a lash point down here. We've got one on both sides. If you need to load this thing up with a lot of gear and you're in some heavy water, always good idea to have lash points where you can make sure that gear stays secure and helps keep your bow down. There's a lot of nice things on this boat the closer you look. So one of the very underrated but very welcome features of this boat is that it features Yamaha's new cowling covers. You can now get them in pearlescent white. So if that's one of your bugaboos, if you're not a fan of the traditional gray or you happen to own a vessel that doesn't really sync with those traditional colors, you can now get them in a nice white as well. One thing that we really can't deny the more we look at these two boats is that the AQS really has a high quality standard. There's a really good build here, especially even around the helm station. Something you wouldn't necessarily think of or put much stock in. This thing is well built. I'm not small. I can pull myself up. There's no wiggle here. Strong welds, strong metal. We've also got an extra high windshield. I'm 6'2". When I'm sitting down below this, I've got lots of coverage out of the wind, out of any spray if I encounter that. Again, with the full helm station on a larger boat, we've just got more here as well. We've got a full stereo in here, which is a nice feature because like I said, you could theoretically use this as a day boat and come out here with family and friends. As well, we've got a nice storage compartment around the underside here. Again, something that's just so necessary and inflatable. You're worried about not having enough storage? There's more here than you think there is. How do we answer the ultimate question? Which is the better inflatable for us? Do we like the smaller size in something like the Gala 330L at 10 feet 8? Or do we like something of the larger size like this AQS 450 at 14.8? The answer always comes down to two very common factors: budget and sizing. Budget is always a primary concern. How much are we looking to spend? What are we going to be using this for? Is it going to be our primary, or is it going to be strictly as a tender? Do we want to have the availability to use it as a tender and also as a standalone vessel? The other idea relating to sizing is, if we are using this as a tender, we have limitations. This needs to fit within our primary vessel. Now, if we were to take both of those considerations away, which one would I choose? Quite frankly, it's hard to beat the larger inflatable. We've got a smoother ride, we've got a little bit more horsepower, we've got a little bit more to work with in terms of storage, even performance maneuverability. That being said, if I wanted something really simple, really user-friendly, that didn't have a lot to it, that I could just enjoy without having to worry about, the Gala 330L is a great option for that. It just gets the job done. So, it really depends what you're looking for, but you really can't go wrong with either one.